Well, good evening, everyone. This is Dr. Rita Ellithorpe at Tustin Longevity here in Southern California. We are a functional medicine practice composed of gynecologists and naturopaths, and I'm a general practitioner, allopathic. So we have MDs, DOs, NDs, and there's six of us healthcare providers here, and we're all trying to provide natural functional medicine, giving you advice on prevention or restoration of your health. We don't do everything that's out there, and there are many other things that are available, but we have a good grasp on many patients who use various modalities, and we can give you our advice and our experience on how these patients have done with other modalities. But in general, we're trying to work on doing gut studies, very detailed digestive stool analysis, food allergies, skin allergies, hormone replacement, male hormone replacement as well, fatigue, thyroid, endocrine, natural supportive arena. Of course, we work with our consultants and specialists, and we just have a wonderful time with our patients. Um, Fortunately, we have decades and decades and decades of experience. That means a lot of people are trying to get in to see us, and we're trying to see as many people as we can. So we would ask you to uh, get onto our newsletter. If you go to tlcdoctors.com, you can sign up for our newsletter, and there you'll get notifications of educational question and answers like this. We thought doing question and answer time an hour every week would be most helpful for our patient population and their family and friends. So if you get on that mailing list, tlcdoctors.com, there's a link there for notification of when we do this every Tuesday at 6 o'clock to 7. But then there's a link where you can type in a question. And so we have these questions that come to us. So we try and cover them all. And there's also live chat. So we can see that there's some people on YouTube who are already typing in questions in the live chat. We try and defer to our live audience first, and then we'll go to our email questions. We also have this typed out. So in our blog, on our website, tlcdoctors.com, on the blog, you can see all of the questions that are posed and my answers. I don't propose to know everything, nor is this medical personal advice for any one person asking a question. Rather, it's an educational how I would approach from a allopathic medical trained experienced doctor with 40, 50 years of functional medicine, because I've done functional medicine all my life. So if this is valuable to you, please, it would help us if you would like and subscribe. Share this with your family and friends. Just hit the like button. And there are questions at the end of each of these. I do look to see if there are questions that are asked afterwards. So I'm trying to look at this as well. So let's begin with our live questions. The first one is from T on our YouTube, and it says, hello. She has apparently several questions. You once talked about how historically the menopause occurred much later in life. Can you briefly discuss this and recap your thoughts on hormone replacement, specifically the types and when to start? Well, again, I've been practicing medicine since the late 1970s. And when I would see women then, and I'd be in my early 20s, these women would have been born, around 1905. Anyway, so they didn't have any of this sugar, junk food, hydrogenated fats, electromagnetic wave, geostratospheric engineering, where they make these fake clouds, chemtrails that dump heavy metal toxins on you. And so they were a healthier population of people for that purpose. And they were eating a homemade meal and working harder, walking more, exercising. They would go to bed more typically when the sun went down, and they would arise when the sun went up. So these are a group of women who were metabolically healthier because of the decreased toxins in the processed food and environmental toxins. Therefore, these women would menstruate well into their 50s, late 50s, early 60s. But now, as a young, old doctor, now that I've hit the big sevens and I'm in my 70s now, I see women going into menopause at 40, 37. And why is this? It's stress and environmental toxins and damaged foods and damaged light, our day and night cycles and the blue light screens and being off on our circadian rhythms. And that's the reason. So then she goes on to say, serapeptase makes me sick. It's the only herb I've taken that makes me vomit. NAC at 500 milligram makes me dizzy and gives me brain fog. Are these normal reactions? Well, I can't speak to who's the manufacturer, what is the filler, what is the capsule made of. There's many other things that can go into you probably reacting to it. I cannot imagine having those symptoms from serapeptase or NAC. But I've after 43 years of practicing medicine, I've learned to be open and listen to my patient because there are variations, but that would be unlikely. Question 3: my body is not reacting to carnivore too well. I think my body doesn't absorb protein well. After I did it for a month, my nails were still brittle. What can I take to better absorb? Well, if your blood type is A type blood, if you're an older person, the older you are, the more you need digestive enzymes to help you digest the proteins and fat in a carnivore diet. And then you need patience. It takes 9 months to make a baby. And so for you to see difference in your nails is going to be at least 6 months. So that's how I'd answer that. Um, Elizabeth says, what would you do for the skin condition allodynia, where the skin feels like it has a burn and hurts to be touched or have clothes touch the skin? Well, that's an atypical expression of a skin sensitivity. Often it's associated with confused with rather fibromyalgia. It's often associated or correlated with migraines. There's many things, Elizabeth, that we would think about. We would have to see the patient, get their history, do a physical, find out their blood type, their age, and look at the distribution of where this allodynia or sensitive skin pattern is at. And sometimes it's a precursor to a non-erupted herpes outbreak. So there's many things, Elizabeth, that could be. You would have to see your doctor. Um, Carolyn says, my 93-year-old mother has a issue with phlegm. I would say most people over the age of 70 have postnasal drip. It's called senile rhinorrhea, and they all have this excess production of phlegm. She cannot loosen it and has a hard time even talking. Well, Carolyn, the older you get, just like the skin under your chin, starts to sag, your skin on your arm starts to sag. The collagen elastin that holds us up is breaking down all over the body, and the oral pharynx that holds up your palate and your tonsils on the back of your tongue and that whole area there, that starts to sag too with that uvula that's hanging down. And so it becomes, obstructive. Plus the posture of aging, unless you do weight training and exercise and Pilates, this becomes a problem with moving the head forward with aging. and that will aggravate also the activity. Now, water is critical. She has to have half her weight as pounds in ounces of water every day. And then we are for what we've been learning about is what we call this uh, structured water, where I take this crystal and it has this water bubble in it going up and going down. And this is crystal, not glass. It's a good conductor of energy and information. That will make the water what we call structured and very well absorbed. Vortexing your water helps do it. So that's the Analemma 1. That's spelled ANALEMMA water.com if you want to learn about it. I don't sell these, but the science is correct, and I'm supporting that. And I've seen many of my patients, including myself, improve by drinking structured water. So she needs this water. And the other thing that you lose with age are enzymes. So enzymes chop up mucin and snot, and the postnasal drip is a mucopolysaccharide that needs to be digested. So giving her enzymes on an empty stomach, 4 or 5, first thing in the morning, last thing in the afternoon, giving her her water and giving her a straw to help propel that back there. Drinking with a straw always is helpful to especially the elderly. Getting it as structured water, you could look up Dr. Gerald, Gerald Pollack, Pollack, PhD, structured water. Listen to his lectures. He's been teaching on this and muscle contraction for decades, and he's absolutely correct. So those are some of the things that I would recommend that you do for anyone who's elderly and has this phlegm. And why do they make more phlegm? Well, the skin, just like our skin thins with aging, so is the mucus lining of your sinuses and turbinates. So a pollen or a air particle that is breathed in has an easier time of triggering irritation through the mucous membranes, and the response of the body is to get rid of that pollen, and so it will make more mucin. Hence, you'll get easier breakthrough through the thin skin, and you'll have more mucin and postnasal drip, and you'll get the phlegm, and you don't have the enzymes to break it up, and you don't drink water with age, and you start having collagen hanging down, elastin failure, and the poor posture, and you get a bad situation. Let's see. Carol also says her doctor wants her to have a fluoroscopy. I think that's too invasive. Well, I'm not her doctor, and he may know things about her history and stuff. I don't, so I can't speak to that. She has beginnings of COPD and congestive heart failure on meds for that. So I would say, she needs to be seen by her good doctors who know her and have a functional doctor look at that. But all these things I told you, you can employ. They're very safe, even with having some heart congestive failure. She may not need something like half her weight as ounces. If she has heart failure, then you might have to give water more limitedly, but all the more reason to give her the highest quality water. Carolyn says, all right, so we did that one. Debbie says, hi, Dr. Rita, what causes pneumonia and how do you not get it? And what, if you do, how do you heal it? Thank you. Well, Debbie, pneumonia is a term that basically is talking about an area in your lung. You have segments in your lung. And if a fungus or a virus or a bacteria or a chemical insult injures the little air sacs there, and those broken down sacs can't function well, and the particles of the broken down sac feed the bacteria, fungus, or viral needs, Then it'll set up shop. And when we take an x-ray, we can see the fluid breakdown, inflammation in that segment of the lung. So what you need to do is have very good microcirculation, all the tiny capillaries that all are around your lung cells that want to absorb the oxygen and get rid of the CO2. Um, that's why EDTA chelation therapy is valuable, especially mixed with vitamin C. Vitamin C, the minute I have any sense that I'm not feeling well, I get a high dose vitamin C immune drip. I have oral vitamin C, and I'll take one 5 or 750 milligram capsule every 30 minutes until my cough or my achy congestion is better. And that normally does the trick. Taking a multivitamin with zinc, 25 milligrams a day for 2, 3, 4 weeks, and then make sure it's always in your multi-mineral vitamin that you take on a routine basis. But for 2 to 4 weeks, you could take 25 milligrams of a multi-mineral zinc. We use TLC multi-mineral here that has it in it, and that make sure you have as well with it magnesium that helps bronchodilate. Taking enzymes on an empty stomach helps chew up and eat up whatever segment of your lung has the inflammation. And then there are people who, talk about ozone therapy, ultraviolet light therapy of the blood, the Argentine silver. You can spray it and then breathe it like a mist, like a vaporizer. So you could do that. Silver and the nanoparticulate Argentine silver is a universal antiviral, antibacterial. Having a very good vitamin D level, trying to keep your vitamin D levels around 80 all the time. Getting a good night's sleep, grounding yourself in the morning, standing in your bare feet in the grass in the mornings. All these things will tend to help your immune system solve any infection, whatever it is, or even chemical injury. Then she asked, what is a big hype on hydrogen water? Is it that great? And the answer is hydrogen water is giving you better antioxidant potential. And more people drink just water. Just by drinking more water, that's going to help your body. But the science of water, since it's everything we're made of, we're 2/3 water, molecule per molecule. If you add up how many molecules make my body up, every amino acid, fatty acid, compared to the tiny H2O molecules, you're going to have 99% of those molecules are water because the others are so big. But size-wise and experientially, it looks like 2/3 water and 1/3 structural material. But numerically per molecule, it's 99% water. So water is important, and just taking the water is going to help you. Hydrogenated water provides extra ability of your body to donate electrons and quelch free radicals. Free radicals are like terrorists that hurt your cell membrane. Anytime you can slow down the damage to your cell membrane here and help you heal it by eating a healthy protein fat diet, then you're going to live longer because you're taking care of your cells. Just like you want to take care of your nails and your hair, you can take care of your cells by taking high quality lifestyle supportive materials, food, and enzymes, and various things like that. Let's see, the next one is Dennis. Dr. Datis has Karazian, Harazian. Dr. Datis Karazian mentioned that the first sign of brain degeneration is mental fatigue. Is he correct? Well, I would certainly agree with that trend. I don't know who he is or what, but certainly mental fatigue is described in many different ways, but the ability to take on thoughtful, critical thinking, problem solving, no matter what time of day it is, or if you're awakened out of the sleep with a bang of a noise, you have to have your brain functioning well to assess the situation, come up with a interpretation and an action plan. And that requires healthy brain cells. So that's why I try and get a good night's sleep. That's why I try and eat a carnivore diet, because this is mostly fat up here. That's why I take EDTA chelation therapy to keep the heavy metals and toxins and the good microcirculation going. That's why I exercise. That's why I drink my water to be well hydrated. That's why I take systemic enzymes to chew up any proteinaceous debris or damaged cell and get rid of it so a new one can replace it. And so there you go. Let's get to some of these questions. Slovig says, hi, I love your weekly sessions. Thank you. Well, thank you, Slovig, for that comment. You guys keep me thinking, and I'm always growing in knowledge and experience. It's a two-way street, and that's the best kind of medicine. Could you please share with us all of the details about the devices, including the names or brands that you use daily to your water drink? I heard you mention Alexa Pure, Vortex, Crystal Lawn, Berkey. Is one of these a home filtering system that you use, or do you only use the filtering pitcher? Thank you. Well, yeah, I do have RO in my personal home. But these companies, for instance, the people in the Netherlands who make this wand with the pure structured water in here, which takes about a year to produce. This is about $170 some. This is a crystal enclosure, and then I can unscrew this here and put this and take it, on a trip with me. But I like to keep it out like this because it just sits on my desk, and it is in my big glass from which I drink. And I keep it in my glass thus. And then I can stir it if I put just regular tap water in. But instead of tap water from Tustin City water, I take my tap water and I put it into a Berkey water filter. And the one I use is Alexa Pure, because I'm supporting Alex Jones on Infowars.com. But it's a multi-staged carbon largely filter that takes out most of the bad stuff, chlorine, fluorine. You have to buy a different filter if you want to get rid of fluorine. So Berkey water filters or Alexa Pure you get on Infowars.com. So I filter my water, and then I fill it in my jar here with my spinning vortex water. If I lift that up fast enough, maybe I can show you. All right, so let me see if that gets swirling. I'll do it real quick, and you can see, take a quick look at the water. See that swirl going on there? All right, so vortexing the water helps organize the water molecules to be uniform instead of random. And that helps to generate what we call structured water, and that's how our cells function. And then what I do is I take this water and I pour it into my drinking glass, and I fill it up to the tip of that crystal. See, now the crystal is right there where the water line is, the crystal limit there. I don't know if you can see it. There you go. See, up to the water line there. And then, because I just filled it, I'll stir it a few seconds. They say to stir it if you don't even have a vortex for about 20-30 seconds. And then after I stir it, then this will keep it in a trained state for hours and hours and hours. And this will last forever. This is lifelong. So this is analemma wand. You can find out about that at analemma water.com. I don't sell them, so you can go order it from them. It's about $170. Then my vortex thing is just, I do it because I like the egg shape. Remember, the shape of an egg is life. There's something about the physics of a egg shaped item and the swirl of the water in it for life in general. So I buy mine in this egg shape because in my analytical chemistry labs, when I was in college and chemistry, we had Erlenmeyer flask. They were just square bottoms, and then we would spin the water there to properly dissolve things. But as we learned more in analytical chemistry and physics, we learned about the egg shape, and that's a superior method for healthier water organization. And that flask you can get at Mayu, Mayu, Swirl, Swirl. And that, just look on the internet. The name of it is Mayu Swirl. Can you see that on the top there? Mayu Swirl, Mayu Swirl. And then what else can I tell you about that? And so Infowars, infowars.com. And that's, I go to the store and then I look up preparedness and the water filtering. And that's how I got that. And that's how I use that Slovig. He has another question that said, if I can't go outside at sunrise, but I can sit at my open window, open is the key word there, so that the window is open. You could have a little screen on it, for the bugs and mosquitoes, but an open window with my feet on a grounding mat, will that ground me electrochemically? Yes, it will. Yes, it will. And please do it. Is this as good as walking outside barefoot or clothes? Yes, the answer should be yes. And then Mona says, hi, doctor. She says nice things to me. Okay. In a previous podcast, you mentioned perfect aminos in reference to a question about peptides. You also said that you don't believe perfect amino branch chain have the branch chain amino acids in them. I would have to look. I don't think I have it here. Do I have it here? No. So I don't have the bottle here. I'll have to check that later. Branch chain amino acids have different properties and are important for certain things in our biochemistry. So my question is, do I want branch chain amino acids in my amino acids I take? And is Perfect Aminos your brand? No, it's not my brand. Dr. Meinkoff developed that. He's won so many physical education challenges, triathlons, Ironman, all that. He's in his 80s. I saw him recently. He's doing great. The older you get, the more you need to be like a carnivore because it's harder to repair your body. So you need more volume of protein in your diet. Then you need the digestive enzymes to help chop them up so that you can get them into their sizable amino acids so that your body can absorb it. So the older you get, you need digestive enzymes. The older you get, you need a lot more protein in your diet, and you need to do weight training, which I'll be doing here shortly. I'm in my workout clothes. And the branch chain amino acids will be in the meat, the fish, the chicken, the turkey, the pork, the shrimp, the sardines, the crab, the lobster, the eggs, all these things. So I don't know that I don't take the amino acids. My husband does. But I think if you eat a rich, healthy carnivore nearly like diet, you're going to get all the aminos you need. I would probably aim for about 100 grams of protein a day. If you're a woman, if you're a man, depending on how big you are, maybe 140. Romans 3:23. I like that. Romans 3:23. My friend is recovering from pneumonia sepsis and is taking antibiotics. Can he take Vitalzyme at the same time? Most definitely. He can take 5 twice a day on an empty stomach. Yeah, very good. And give him a lot of vitamin C orally. He'll need it. Um, yeah, we do that for all our patients, the high dose vitamin C IVs or orally, and we give them enzymes to get rid of the inflammation and the debris. That's a very good plan. Michelle says, "Hi, Dr. E, the most amazing." Well, praise the Lord for the nice things you're saying. My mom has been diagnosed with cancer. She's 84 years young, a radical prayer warrior, and a child of the Most High King. Amen. Do you have a recommendation for an integrative oncologist in Orange County area? Oh boy, I don't. I don't. So, I use Dr. Tariq Mahmood, Mahmood. He works out of St. Joseph's in Orange on Levita and Main Street in Orange. He's worked with me for many decades, so he understands a lot of the supportive things we do with cancer patients, the IVs, the detoxing, and all that. I don't know of anyone locally here who does that like he does. So Tariq, Tarique, Mahmood, Mahmood. He's a wonderful oncologist I've worked many decades with to present. It just takes, you got to wait to see him. He has a long waiting line and time. So now there is an oncologist in Reno, Nevada, James Forsythe, Forsythe, I think is his name. And he's been training up other medical doctors. Maybe they are some oncologists. And they do integrative oncology with low dose chemo or insulin potentiated chemotherapy. So there are many things out there, but what you need is a good local functional medicine doctor familiar with these and many of the items being suggested. And I've been doing this for 40 plus years, and I've seen almost everything. And some seem to have great promise, some don't. And I would get with a good functional doctor. I would maybe call the Forsythe Clinic, James Forsythe up in Reno, Nevada, oncology, integrative oncology, and he's published on this. So, but of course they censor him. But anyway, his work is amazing. And he really has published only on stage 4 cancers. So hopefully that'll help you. Then let's see, we have some live ones coming in again. Dennis says, Dr. No, we already answered that one, so we got that one. Let's go to the second page. Krista says, and she lists, I have lipoprotein little a 210, cortisol 26, apolipoprotein 94, LDL 71, vitamin D 36, CCS 27. She's a plant-based diet, forks over knives believer. She's on 10 milligrams of Crestor Stanton daily. Family history of high cholesterol. Her dad had triple bypass. Mom had stents and valve replaced. Based on these labs and family history, is there anything I should take daily besides Crestor? Well, Krista, I would see a good functional medical doctor. And I would not presume to tell you what to do because I don't know how old you are. I don't know your blood type. I don't know your blood pressure. I don't know your personal medical history exam. I don't know your weight. I don't know your inflammation markers. I don't know your fasting blood sugar. I don't know your fasting insulin. I don't know your hemoglobin A1C. I don't know your triglyceride level and HDL level. So there are so many things I don't know about you. I wouldn't propose to tell you what to do, Krista. Find a good functional medicine doctor. But you could go on YouTube. And on YouTube, if you would type in at the title for the video, Dr. Ken Berry and Dr. David Diamond. And about 9 months ago, they did a up-to-date retrospective review of all the pertinent literature on cholesterol lowering concerns, and they discuss them in depth with very understandable language. David Diamond is a PhD, and Dr. Ken Berry is a family practice doctor. They did a great job. So I don't want to reinvent the wheel. Watch that. The title of the YouTube, I think, is called High Cholesterol is Healthy. When you get to that page, you'll see other videos next to it that are similar. I haven't watched them all, but you'll see them. Some of them identify lipoprotein little a and some of these other areas of concern. I am not concerned, nor do I do or base any of my decision making on those extraneous mega lipid profile cardiology assays. I just don't do that. I focus on a low carb, low insulin, low triglyceride, 1-to-1 HDL triglyceride ratio, low fasting blood sugar under 85, low hemoglobin A1C, low insulin under 4. And then I see all the need for statins to go away. But watch that video on YouTube, Dr. Ken Berry and Dr. David Diamond, PhD. High cholesterol is healthy. Todd says, what are your thoughts on fenbendazole for the treatment of lung cancer? Well, I think it's very interesting. I've been looking and I do watch these things. We don't treat cancer. We have patients who have cancer that we help build their immune system, help build their nutritional status, and help to detox certain things in them. But we don't treat cancers. Fenbendazole is a antiparasitic that has been found to be very possibly effective and there's some NIH research studies looking at this in certain cancers, one of which is lung cancer. So if you do a Google search on this, if you do a Google search on Joe Tippen, Tippen, he, I believe, had lung cancer and used fenbendazole, and he brought some popularity to this concept. But bring it up with your oncologist or a oncologist who is an expert in this area and get their feedback. Julie says, hello, Dr. E. For decades, my sister has had a brain tumor, not cancerous, and is inoperable, that causes headaches, migraines, due to it being located on the optic nerve. So how would you suggest she do to help her with her headaches and to heal the tumor? Please advise. Thank you, Julie. Julie, she would be someone I would have to see. I would have to get the MRIs and look at the original size and, the rate of its growth. I would say if it's decades, it's certainly slow growing. I would have to find out her blood type, her immune system, her toxicities, her, various aspects with the physical. And then I'd start teaching her about how the body identifies foreign material, chews it up, and removes it with enzymes, and how to disinflame her body, how to look for allergens that may create. Remember, in the brain has glial cells, and we thought these were just inert. Now we understand they're very dynamic and react to allergies. So we would want to do a very good allergy workup on this. And there's just so much that could be done from a supportive venue. Find a good functional doctor to talk about getting her insulin low, getting her blood sugars low, getting the number one thing I would probably do is make her do a carnivore diet for 4 months, minimum 4 months, 100% pure carnivore. And then I would say it's most likely that she'll be dramatically improved. But find your neurologist and talk with them about that before you do anything. But a carnivore diet removes all the pro-inflammatory inflammation stirring activities, and that is always an excellent thing to start in that area. And then Carrie says, what key vaccines do you recommend for newborns? I don't recommend them. None. I recommend breastfeeding. Yasmin says, Dr. E, thank you so much for doing this. Do you have toothpaste you recommend for adults as well as kids? Yeah, it's called, the one I use is, what's the name of it? I get it on Infowars.com. Dr. Jones toothpaste. I think you could go to Dr. Jones toothpaste and Google it, and you'll see this has silver in it. It doesn't have these contaminants in it that you're pointing out. There's no fluoride, there's no carrageenan, and there's no other undesirable elements. And you also want to know, what do I think of flossing? I don't floss. I don't believe in it unless something's stuck in between my teeth. I believe in a low carb diet, and I believe in not eating late and brushing your teeth minimum twice a day. And I use one of Dr. Jones' toothpaste, because Alex Jones' father is a dentist. And so I'm trying to support Alex Jones, so I buy his dad's toothpaste. It has turmeric in it, and that's very valuable for teeth health as well. Lisa says, God's blessing, Dr. E. A doctor recommended to my 90-year-old dad to stay hydrated with any combination of fluids except soda pop. Okay. When I shared that, he chooses Snapple and Lipton iced tea every time over water. She had no problem with that. What wisdom can I give him from you, since he won't listen to me about the benefits of water for his well-being? Well, I would dilute it a little bit. I would make it 1/3 water and 2/3 his Snapple. And then I would get an analemma wand, and I would stir it and make the water and the material in it more beneficial. And that's what I would say. That's what I would say there. Dorothy says, what is what is the process involved in breaking down our food? Well, it starts with your saliva in your mouth, immunoglobulin A, and the amylase in the liquid saliva helps start breaking down the sugars right away. And the chewing mastication breaks it into smaller parts. And when you swallow it and it goes into the stomach, your pH can get down to a 1.5. That acid there helps kill off bacteria, bad stuff, but it's aiding in hydrolysis of certain bonds to break up the fats and proteins. And then you have amylase, lipase, pancrease, various different kinds of enzymes. When it passes into the duodenum and your pancreas squirts out, your bile squirts out, and that emulsifies little fat molecules. So that's the process of digestion. Cynthia says, hello, Dr. Rita. In your opinion, is a nerve conduction study necessary? Well, it depends on the situation. I've heard they are very painful. I have not heard that. And I'm wondering if the pain and any possible risks may be worth it. I'll also be getting a spine MRI. I'm trying to figure out what is causing pain down my spine and in my left leg. I also have lots of twitching in my left hand and left toes. All right. Well, you have to be seen by a doctor, maybe a neurologist, work this up. But depending on your age, a lot of people, as we age, our posture changes, our muscles start to shrink with aging, and we lose our muscle strength. And with that, our posture fails us. And with the bones slipping more easily, we can pinch things more easily. We can injure ourselves because we are not in tone with our exercise. We're not drinking enough water. We don't stretch. We don't build up our muscles. We don't have enzymes to get rid of inflammation. There's a whole number of things. So your weight is an issue, your weightlifting, muscle resistance training, your stretching, Pilates, your water hydration, what is your enzyme status. These are all things that are important. Now, yes, you need to rule out red herrings like multiple sclerosis, a disc, various things like that. But I would not forsake doing all these other wonderful things. And 99% of the time, these pinched nerves and stuff, back pain, will self correct if you do these healthy lifestyle, exercise, diet, get to a optimal diet, enzymes. Josie says, can you drink whole milk in a carnivore diet? You can, but I don't recommend milk for adults. I just recommend breast milk, milk for infants. Annette says, hello, Dr. Rita. Thank you for all you do. I had my daughter call to schedule an appointment for pap and breast exam and was informed that service is no longer being offered. Hopefully it was a misunderstanding. Annette, it wasn't. And unfortunately, I've got to tell you that the system of the corrupt medical insurance, medical billing, this is a game. This is not for your benefit. And it certainly is not the doctor's anymore. Once the doctor is gives up private practice and gets absorbed by the big machine medicine, a $4 trillion thing, the beast needs to keep the system going, and they prefer you be sick, and they need to poke you and do various things to you. And then the doctor gets to bill through insurance for your visit because they are making this so costly that nobody can make it anymore, allegedly, without insurance. But what's happening to doctors like myself who have a private practice, because I will not join a big conglomerate. I stand on my license and my 43 years of practice and not being sued. And what is now happening is the insurance companies are paying less and less and less and less and delaying the payment longer and longer and fighting paying on billing charges that we submit. That's like us begging to get paid for seeing you. So one of the areas that is the least paying is normal female pelvic breast exams, PAPs. So we've got to let it go. And we are challenged, ladies and gentlemen. And there are times where I and my son and my husband go without paychecks. So we work for free for the privilege of serving our Lord and Savior. So you have to understand that truth and how hard it is to be a private practitioner and try and use insurance. And why do I use insurance? Because I'm trying to make it accessible to everyone of all income situations. Many doctors are just hanging up their coats and quitting, all that experience being lost. Many doctors are shutting themselves off to insurance and doing these concierge, you pay monthly fee or an annual fee. Free enterprise, more power to them. I am trying to stay alive and open for my patients using the insurance model because that's what you guys have become accustomed to. But I need you to call 202-224-3121 for your House Congressman, or 202-225-3121 for the Senate. And you need to tell and let them know every week your opinion about what you think of the healthcare system and how it's hurting private practice medicine, how World Health Organization and world medical total tyranny and control is trying to creep and tell and frighten you into things. And the organizations like the FDA and the CDC, they're not doing their job. They're not at all. And they are a private club passing through pharmaceutical benefits for their drugs that they get permission to make money off of, just like your congressman and senators have insider training permission to become multi-millionaires instead of statesmen serving their country. This whole system is corrupt due to filthy greed. Now, I don't need a Mercedes. I'm fine in my old falling apart 2006 Saturn that I bought used for $7,000 in 2007. But I'm on fumes, and so I can't do all these things. And people who are nitpicking over dimes and dollars, I appreciate the stress you're under, but if I can't support some nutrient sales or IVs with our natural hormones, some of them, we won't make it. So that is why we had to let one part go, because you can go to the health department, Orange County Health Department, and ask them where you can get some sponsored pelvic PAP and things like that done. So we're trying to take care of the whole patient. Yes, that's an important thing. Women's health is important, but for a PAP and pelvic, we're going to have to let that go. I have to start cutting things somewhere where we can see other people. So with that being said, let's see if we have any other questions. Christina says, "Hi, Dr. Rita. Do you have any natural remedies for poison ivy? My 7-year-old boy got into it. His doctor prescribed steroid tablet. Thank you." That's difficult. Usually, topical Argentin that in the gel form, or topical, what was the other thing? Aloe vera. Aloe vera gel is very, very helpful as well. So that's what I would recommend there. And Carolyn says, unfortunately, in California, if your kids are not fully vaccinated, they cannot go to school. Then they'll have to stay home. Grandma and grandpa are going to have to help, and they're going to have to help homeschool. And this may be a good thing to get the family together and get the wisdom that you all have, all your years, your decades of knowledge, and pouring it into these children and teaching them the history of the Bible and the history of world history, and teaching them the piano or whatever you're doing. It may be the best thing that ever happened to this country, because they are certainly being taught to be divisive and critical under the false premise of worrying about, hurt feelings or things like that. Anyway, with that, I've covered everything. And so what I want to do is take the extra 5 or 7 minutes and take it to myself and relax. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, please sign, click the like button, share. I'll see you next week at 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. And go to tlcdoctors.com and get on the newsletter. All right. Take care. Good night.